Welcome back. Now, if you've missed it, of course, consumers will be paying more for electricity as the National Energy Regulator has granted Eskom a tariff increase of 18.65%. The Energy Regulator agreed to a further 12.7%, a 74% increase from the 1st of April 2024. This brings the total price hike to an effective 33.7% over 2 years. For reaction to this issue and to break down how tariff hikes are calculated, I'm joined by Manie de Waal from the Energy Partners. Mr. de Waal, thank you very much for your time here on ENCA. Let's first start with what NERSA said when it made this announcement yesterday. It said it was stuck between a rock and a hard place and essentially had no choice but to implement these tariffs the best way that it could to balance everything out. Would you agree with what they're saying? Are we being unfair by being outraged?
Yeah, I think it's not unfair to be outraged. It's maybe only in South Africa where we get price increases for something that's, as reflected on your screen, blackouts of stage 6 currently rolling. So it's a little bit ironic. But if we just concentrate on the price increases from our side and from our clients that we advise, we expected this. Both the increases for this year and next year. It is not something that was not expected. NERSA is in a very difficult spot, which is not caused by them. We are all familiar with the problems of Eskom. So in a sense, it was expected. I think what potentially could raise some eyebrows is that there was a lack of public participation in this process. In other words, normally there would be more widely consultation and public participation. This was just announced. So here we are. It's a complex situation. I can say this, that from our side, our company and the clients that we advise, it was expected.
There's an organization that believes that NERSA is, concentrating too much on Eskom and its, ask of tariff increases every year. And NERSA should actually also be concentrating on allowing independent power producers to also come on the grid. Do you agree?
100%. I think while it's important to listen to and it's in everyone's interest that Eskom does not fall apart. Let me start with that. We're a company that work in the energy sector of South Africa, and we want to work with Eskom. And it's in the interest of South Africa that Eskom is protected. However, we advocate a position of not only Eskom in South Africa, and in that sense, we are a power producer to many companies in South Africa. There's many other companies like us. And in that sense, the pace of change for us is too slow. However, again, looking at the ENCA screen, blackouts at level 6, it is literally just being forced on Eskom, on NERSA, on the government. The change is coming. It will come. We are part of that change, and that's just going to be, that is our current reality, and that is a reality that is accelerated both by this price increase over 2 years, but also the current lack of electricity.
Now, the good thing is that NERSA did say that Eskom must make sure that it meets its EAF requirements, right? And that's all good and well. But, they don't mention exactly what they'll do if Eskom doesn't meet these requirements. What should they do as the energy regulator?
Well, EAF is energy availability factor, and if we are realistic of what the targets have been over the past 2-3 years and what has actually been achieved, I think companies like us and the C&I sector of South Africa is bracing ourselves for those EAF targets not being met. I'm not sure what NERSA can really do, impose further penalties on Eskom that's struggling already. So again, I can attest to the fact that what is happening on the ground is that corporate South Africa is readying itself for EAF factors not being achieved and for becoming more self-reliant. If NERSA can establish some leverage on Eskom to hit those EAF targets, it will be fantastic, but I don't think anyone is banking on it.
What will happen, Mr. de Waal, at some point, the poorest of the poor, for instance, will no longer be able to afford paying for this electricity, especially because they don't even get the electricity. Our unemployment rate is rising, so at some point, people are going to have to choose between paying for electricity or buying food. And obviously, people don't want to go hungry, and therefore, most of them might choose buying food and not paying for electricity. And then NERSA comes in when Eskom asks for a tariff hike, obviously because they have debts to pay, etc. Where will that put us?
It's putting us where we, well, the only comment I can make on that is it's not a situation that will be coming. We are there already. It's in the news this morning that that people in our country are already having to choose between food and power. That's where we are. South Africa is, I started work on Monday after my December holiday. And Monday was easy. On Tuesday, it was just clear to me that 2023 will be, from a power perspective, business unusual like never before. We are looking at some of the starkest and most difficult choices in our country's history. We know in our clients, some of our clients that we deal with, potato farmers, their potatoes are lying in factories. The chips can't get made because there's no power. We know in the poultry industry that eggs cannot be harvested because there's no power. And so we can go on, and so we can go on. So I'm not despondent. That is the reason for our existence as a company. South Africans are resilient. But again, I think everyone in South Africa is getting, or should be, the message should be loud and clear. You have to be more self-reliant. You have to look after yourself, at least for the next couple of years. And then again, let me say this again, that we are not anti-Eskom. We want to work with Eskom, with government, in solving this for all of South Africa.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. de Waal. That was Manie de Waal. He's from Energy Partners.